On this Food City Friday, I want to welcome Kirby, Moir, your registered dietitian with Food City, to the Daytime Kitchen. It is National Diabetes Month, and you're going to be talking us through some recipes for those folks that are dealing with diabetes and diabetics in their life.
Yeah,
yes.
And these are maybe if you've ever been to a doctor or a dietitian
Yes.
who's giving you tips and saying you need to eat more fiber,
Right.
you need to watch your carb. Then you get to the store and you're like, well, what does that actually mean? How can I apply that? So the first tip I wanted to go over today is we talk about eating more fiber-rich foods.
Right, okay.
And oftentimes I would say, well, what is fiber?
Right.
Right? And people are like, I actually don't know. I know it's good for me.
I think we all have that in our mind, what fiber is, but we may or may not be right.
That's right. So fiber actually comes from plants.
Right.
It is non-digestible in our typical kind of system. So that means it doesn't affect our blood sugar as much.
Okay.
So that means if you're looking at food choices and you want to be getting high fiber choices, as that's going to keep you full, it's going to slow digestion, and it can also help with those blood sugar levels.
Okay, very good.
Right, so when you're looking in the store, a couple things to keep in mind is whole grains, which are from plants, right?
Yes.
Are going to have what's an intact grain.
Okay.
So when you think about maybe like a cereal or a white bread, it's not that that is maybe negative for your health, it's just that that's removed some of the nutrient benefit with the processing. Right.
So all of the, when you talk about rice, for example, okay, rice goes, white rice goes through a whole lot of processing, whereas whole grain rice or long grain rice probably better for you.
Yes, and it is going to have a bit of a different texture, and it has a little bit of a nuttier flavor. So if you've never really had whole grains, it does taste a bit different.
Give them a shot, folks, because I want to tell you something. I eat a lot of different things, and I was telling you, I'll try anything once. Long grain rice, whole grains, I love whole grain bread, things of that nature. It's a great way to go.
Absolutely. And then another diabetic tip we talk about is eating meals consistently and not being a breakfast skipper.
I'm guilty there.
A lot of people are. And then they're like, my appetite's weird, or I'm feeling changes in my blood sugar. We really want to balance out in the morning, getting a fiber-rich source, and then also balancing it with protein, which we're going to hit on protein a little later. But this is actually a baked oatmeal.
Right here.
So if you're somebody that time is an issue, you need something quick and on the go, you can prepare this ahead of time. It's just rolled oats and then cottage cheese, actually, which is going to make it really
You caught me off guard with
creamy.
That one. Yeah.
You don't really notice that cottage cheese is going to bake down, but it's going to provide some protein in there. And then we're also pairing that up with some berries, which is another plant food.
Love that, yes.
Yep, and you could do fresh or frozen. I just find if you're making a behavior change and this is new for you, maybe frozen is a good option, less pressure about them going bad. They're going to be in there for you. Another good option is if you're working in whole grains at lunch and dinner. It doesn't have to be every day, it doesn't have to be every meal, but try a swap to a whole wheat pasta, or like you mentioned, our whole grain rice, or a quinoa.
Yes.
Now I like this option. These are little 90-second microwave. They are low in sodium, but they have a mixture of quinoa and brown rice.
Okay.
So if you're somebody that's not sure how to prepare a whole grain,
this is a good way to go.
Yep, you're intimidated, and it's quick, right? I paired that up with just a little bit of quick veggies. I threw some avocado, some tomato, and you could pair that up with a couple different options. But remembering, it doesn't have to mean you're changing over everything.
Right.
It can be one or two items in your cart you're trying to swap out for more nutrient dense. And if you're in the store and you're like, where do I start? Look for those pick well tags.
Right.
That is going to let you know whole grain or dietitian pick. We've done the work reading the label, and so you can look for those bright little colored tags in the store that help you get those better for you choices.
And I love that when you're walking through the store and you're doing your shopping. And I'm one of those folks that my wife is a list person.
Yes.
I'm a go and just look around the store kind of a guy, and so you can see those tags. They're very prominent in Food City. They really are.
And maybe you can take it both ways. Say, I'm going to go to the store today and look for a whole grain option to try.
Yes.
And maybe you can peruse and see what strikes your fancy, but we're going to help you identify those in store, which is really nice, I think.
All right. Check out those Pickwell tags. All right. We'll be back with more with Kirby coming up a little later in the show. For everything you've seen here today and some more great ideas for diabetic recipes, all kinds of recipes, go to foodcity.com.